One of the best ways to think about the ancient prophecy in the book of Nahum is like a cosmic courtroom drama. Seriously, you've got this all-powerful judge, a really notorious defendant, and a sentence that is, well, it's absolutely devastating. So let's dive in.
It all kicks off with just 3 words, but man, are they heavy. The burden of Nineveh. Right away, you can just feel the gravity of it. This isn't just a story, it's a pronouncement. It's like this immense weight of consequence is about to be dropped on one of the ancient world's biggest, baddest cities.
All right, so Act 1. Every good drama needs its main character, right? Well, in this one, the central figure is the judge. This whole first part is about getting to know the one who's about to deliver the sentence and their incredible power. So right off the bat, the text sets up this incredible tension. On the one hand, you hear that God is patient, slow to anger. But then, bam, on the other hand, it makes it absolutely clear that this patience isn't infinite. There's a line. And if you cross it, you get a furious avenger. It's not really a contradiction, though. Think of it more like two sides of the same coin. Justice that can be patient, but can also be, overwhelmingly forceful when it needs to be.
And we're not just talking about power in some abstract way. The text gets real, using the raw force of nature to paint a picture. It describes a power so huge that a whirlwind, that's just his way. And the clouds, they're just the dust of his feet. I mean, what a way to say that this judge is in command of the very fabric of the universe.
So when that fury finally gets unleashed, yeah, it is not subtle. The text paints this picture of a volcanic eruption, right? Fury poured out like fire, a force so strong it throws down rocks and scorches the earth. So the takeaway from Act 1 is pretty simple. The judge in this drama has unstoppable, world-altering power, period. Okay, so we've met the judge. Now in Act 2, we meet the accused, the great city of Nineveh. And this is where we get the list of charges against this ancient superpower. So you might be asking, who exactly was Nineveh? Well, think of it as the capital of the Assyrian Empire, basically the global superpower of its time. And for everyone else living nearby, Nineveh meant one thing: overwhelming, brutal force. This was an empire known for its cruelty, for its brutal conquests, for its psychological warfare. To put it simply, it was the lion's den. And the case against them? It opens with this gut punch of a line. Woe to the bloody city. This is way more than just a condemnation. The text is basically arguing that the entire city, its very foundation, is built on violence, lies, and theft. Its entire source of wealth and power is totally corrupt. And the charges, they read almost like a formal indictment. First up, it's a bloody city built on lies and robbery. But then it gets into these really powerful metaphors for its foreign policy, calling them whoredoms and witchcrafts. Now, what does that mean? Well, it's likely talking about how Assyria would use these sneaky, deceptive treaties and alliances to kind of seduce other nations, trap them, and then just exploit them for everything they had. Okay, and this brings us to the climax. Act 3. The evidence has been presented, the case is made, and now the sentence is handed down. And this is where the prophecy turns into this incredibly vivid, almost cinematic description of the city's brutal end. The whole assault kicks off with just pure speed and terror. Nahum describes these invading chariots, and they're not just, vehicles. They're like these raging forces of nature. They're blurring through the streets like lightning, blazing like torches in the middle of all this chaos. It's just a vision of an unbelievably fast and terrifying invasion. And it's not just what you see, it's what you hear. I mean, just listen. You can almost hear it, can't you? The crack of the whip, the rattling of wheels on stone, the thunder of hooves. The prophecy just drops you right into the middle of this deafening, chaotic soundscape as the whole city comes apart. In the fall of the city, it's described as this total systematic collapse. I mean, the defenses just fail, one after the other. First, the elite soldiers, they stumble. Then the river gates, breached. The palace, the very heart of the empire, it dissolves. And finally, the last defenses, just consumed by fire. It's a complete and total cascading failure. But the sentence, it's about more than just destruction. It's about total humiliation. The prophecy says the city will be made vile, a gazing stock, basically an object of public horror and disgust. Think about that. The empire that once terrified the entire world is going to be turned into a disgusting spectacle for everyone to stare at. So, for the final act, the camera kind of pulls back to show us the bigger picture here. Because this isn't just about one city getting destroyed, it's about a massive reversal of fortune, a tale of two completely different fates. And then the prophecy asks this really haunting question. Remember how we called Nineveh the lion's den, the top predator that no one could touch? Well, the text asks, where is the dwelling of the lions? It's such a poetic way of saying, it's just gone, completely and totally vanished. The fearsome beast is no more.
And this is the whole point, right? This direct contrast. For the oppressor, Nineveh, what's their fate? Utter desolation, empty and void and waste. But for the ones they oppressed, for Judah, the fall of their enemy is good news. It's a message of hope, of liberation. It's like seeing a messenger of peace coming over the mountains. So one empire's end is another people's new beginning. And the final image we get of Assyria's fate is just total chaos. Their leaders? Gone. Their nobles? In the dust. And the very people who made the empire run are now scattered across the mountains with nobody to gather them. The entire system has just completely collapsed. And the whole prophecy ends on this one final damning question. It completely reframes Nineveh's destruction. This wasn't some random act of violence. It was a justified consequence. Because the text asks, "For upon whom hath not thy wickedness passed continually?" It's basically saying, who didn't suffer under your rule? And it leaves us with that question to really think about the connection between unchecked power, systemic cruelty, and maybe inevitable justice.